Warrior, welcome to day 2 of 29 days of the Anxiety Guy. Today, we're discussing how to conquer the fear of being home alone. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Did we find it?
There it is!
Let's go. Good morning, warriors. It's a good day to become more than anxiety. In each one of these videos, I am answering a specific question that you have asked in the comments section below. So make sure to keep asking your questions. I may answer them in future videos. Today's question comes from the Pale Lizard. The Pale Lizard asks, Dennis, I'm anxious and panicky when I'm alone, causing me to shake, tremble as anticipation of future events show up. Do you have any tools to combat this? I do. Before I talk about those tools, though, I know exactly where you're coming from. In fact, the story goes like this. When I was a child, I was left home alone. And when I was home alone, everything was going just fine for the first about 30 minutes. And then I looked outside, and when I looked outside, I saw a couple of shadows. When I saw those shadows, I immediately jumped to conclusions. I thought I was going to be robbed or killed or whatever. And what I did was I ran to my bedroom, I put the covers over me, and I was sweating like crazy. I was praying, I was hoping, I was doing everything I could so that my parents would come back home. And so there I was, hours and hours later, and I heard something downstairs. The door opened up. I heard footsteps going up the stairs. My front door in my bedroom opened up, and I was so scared. You could call it a traumatic event. Thankfully, my dad was right there, and it seemed like in that moment, everything, all the fear left me. I gave him the biggest hug, and I told him the whole story, and after that, things got better. But the problem is that the subconscious mind doesn't forget. So as much as I consciously forgot that experience, my subconscious understood that any time even darkness showed up in the evening, or any time I was left alone, my subconscious, through my symptoms, through my thoughts, let me know of that past event. It didn't want me to feel re-traumatized and overwhelmed. So, when it comes to the Pale Lizard asking this question, I've been there, a lot of people have been there, and we have to really focus on these tools to begin renegotiating the future event of staying home alone. So the first thing I would do is this. I would imagine multiple times for a minimum of 2 minutes. I would imagine the best case scenario when someone leaves you home alone. That means you're sitting on your couch, you're watching your favorite movie in your mind's eye, imagining it happening. So what do you see? I would focus on what I hear. So what do I hear in that pleasant future event? I hear the music that's playing in the background. Wow, I don't get to listen to my favorite music that often, so that's interesting. And what do I feel? My body feels like it's at peace. I feel like I'm home. I feel like things are moving in the good direction. I feel like I'm in a pleasant place. So imagine multiple times, imagine the future scenario where you're home alone, but imagine it in a way that makes you feel more neutral and pleasant towards the situation. Remember to utilize your 3 main senses. In that imagination, what do you see that's pleasant? What do you hear that's pleasant? And what do you feel that's pleasant? This is very, very important. And once we've imagined, and now we're in that place where, my God, I am home alone, and you're feeling better, you're feeling neutral, right? Things are going in the right direction, you're not as sensitized. I can't think of a better scenario to utilize flooding. Flooding is where you directly move towards the fear rather than avoid it, rather than distract yourself or whatever else, anxiety sufferers do. So in this situation, I'm going to encourage you to embrace the uncertainty of that moment so that you can prove to your subconscious that this particular situation is not a threat anymore. What happened in the past, but in this moment, we have a new pairing, a new association that's made between me being home and alone. So what you would do is you would sit. That's it, just like Buddha. Sit underneath the Bodhi tree. You sit in your living room, bedroom, whatever it may be. You close your eyes. And what you're basically doing in that moment is you're creating safety around uncertainty. And just sit and listen and focus on your breathing. Make sure that you're breathing deeply. And if your mind wants to wander, bring it right back to one specific thing like your breath. And if your sensations begin showing up telling you, hey, this isn't right, you got to take some kind of action, allow that to show up and embrace that as well. Give yourself a 7 to 10 minute time frame. I know this can be difficult for some people, but 7 to 10 minute time frame to practice, because every anxious moment is an opportunity to practice. Remember that. Every anxious moment is not an opportunity to run away or distract yourself or utilize some kind of coping method. Not anymore. We're not victims anymore. You're not a victim anymore. You are a true warrior. So imagine and sit with it or flood yourself with the fear. These are the tools that I would utilize if somebody feels highly sensitized towards being home alone. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. That concludes day 2 of 29 days of the Anxiety Guy videos in February. Make sure that you comment below, ask me a question. I will answer that question in the reply, or I may use it for future videos. And if you have any other questions on the latest program called The Inner Circle, head on over to this website right here. Remember that you are more than anxiety. I love you so very much. Have a wonderful day.